It is 64 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Good afternoon and welcome to Election Brief. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on all our social media handles and around the world on myjohnline.com. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Also brought to you by German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, as well as Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. My name is Faustina Safo. Please stay for details. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now we start with the NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama, because he has expressed confidence in Ghana's judiciary to help in his fight against corruption if elected. He says although the NPP is packing the courts in hopes of escaping future accountability, he believes the country's judges will act with the right conscience. Speaking on the second day of his tour of the Northeast region, he noted that the NDC is determined to break the 8 years of corruption and economic mismanagement. Maxwell Agbawa has more in this report.
Hundreds of Ghanaians and NDC supporters welcomed John Mahama to the Bunkpurugu and Jonyo constituencies. The NDC flag bearer, John Mahama, expressed confidence in Ghana's judiciary, saying that despite the NPP's attempt to pack the courts to evade accountability, he believes the country's judges will act with a clear conscience if the NDC is elected.
Number 8 on the ballot paper. They said they were going to break the 8, but God knows best. God gave the 8 to me. Those who have stolen the money of the people of Ghana, we're going to follow them and take that money back for the people. All the corruption scandals are going to be investigated. And I'm sure that even though they are packing the courts because they think that it will earn them a free pass, even if they are found culpable of having stolen money, I believe in our judges, that they are upright and they have a conscience. And that when the cases are brought to them and the evidence is clear, they will do what is right by the Ghanaian people. And so we're going to break 8 years of poverty and hardship. We're going to break 8 years of an economic mess. We're going to break 8 years of piling debts on the Ghanaian people.
John Mahama revealed that the Women's Bank initiative will support 200,000 women's businesses over the next 4 years.
The Women's Bank, we're going to bring a bank that will assist our women with small loans. We want to assist at least 200,000 women's businesses every year for the next 4 years. And those of you who finished pre-SHS, if you qualify for nursing training or a college of education or university or agri-college, when you go to the college for the first year, you won't pay any academic fees.
He stated that 25,000 more police officers will be needed. John Mahama has been on an aggressive drive to reduce spoiled ballots in the upcoming December elections.
Let me remind you that for some of our elder people who have problems with their eyesight, sometimes they find it difficult to vote. And so they go and put their thumbprint anywhere and it becomes a rejected ballot. For such people, if you know any such people, so all the polling station executives identify the elderly people who find it difficult to vote. They are allowed to go with their relative to the polling station. If you have an elderly person, they have problem with their eyesight or whatever, they can go with their child, their brother, their sister, or any relative that they trust. and they should go to the polling station and they'll tell the presiding officer that this is my son or my daughter. I want her to come and help me to cast my vote. The law allows it. We want to bring rejected ballots as low as possible. So please, if you know anybody who finds it difficult to vote, let them go with somebody to help them so that they can put their thumbprint at the right place. We don't want any rejected ballots.
The paramount chief of the Bimuba traditional area, Abuba Nasingmon Tambungtuk, had these words for the NDC presidential candidate.
Please, saying this, I have tried it and see what it works. And I have been known so many ways in the Quran. Look, if you say you want to take anger and destroy something, win your power, it can't happen. That can never help you. That will never help you. But if you use Inna Allah ma'aswabirin, let them cheat you. The one who think he can cheat you. The one who think he has power, let him cheat you and you see what will happen. You just sit down and fold your hands, look into that person. But one will bring disaster in Ghana, it will not favor us. It will rather destroy our future and our history and our life. So I am pleading to everybody, every Ghanaian, to use Inna Allah ma'aswabirin.
Let's take you now to where confusion rocks the Wa Central branch of the New Patriotic Party following the suspension of its women's organizer Takora Attawa. A group of women affiliated with Attawa stormed the Upper West Regional Council to present a petition to the regional minister Stephen Yakubu demanding her reinstatement. They have issued an ultimatum warning that they will withhold their votes in the December election if Attawa is not reinstated by Monday. Let's go on Zoom now and speak to a man on the ground. Rafiq Salam joins us with more. Rafiq, what is the basis for the suspension of this woman?
The basis for the suspension is about a press statement coming from the party dated the 2nd of October 2024, suspending the constituency women's organizer of the party, Takora Attawa. They have accused her of anti-party activities with respect to the party. And so, as a result of that, the party's constituency executive committee suspended her and asked her to restrain her from all activities of the party. And so that really infuriated supporters of the party who are affiliated to Takora Attawa. And so this morning they stormed the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to present a petition to the Upper West Regional Minister Stephen Yakubu, but he was not at the office at the time that they were there. And so after that, they drove back to the party regional office at Jembairi, where they had a lot of slogans saying that no Attawa, no vote, and they are not going to vote for NPP unless the committee or the party rescind a decision to bring her to the fold of the party. And so I have spoken to some of them, and they vent their anger on the party, and they are saying that the people who took that decision are the people who are rather anti-party, people who are against the party, who doesn't want the party to win. And they also accuse them of only campaigning for the parliamentary candidate of the party in the Western constituency and not the party's flag bearer. And then also, the party regional women's organizer, the person of Madam Nancy Dere, also came there to plead for them to stop the protest, but they wouldn't heed to that. They are saying that unless they rescind that decision, they will not stop, and that they will encourage the party will encourage their own if they fail to rescind that decision.
In their petition to the party, they give an ultimatum. They say they want her reinstated by Monday. Have you heard anything, an official response from the party yet?
Well, now there has not been any response from the party except the statement that they released a couple of days ago. And then they are, even on that statement, they are saying that if she change her way, they will bring her back. But for now, we haven't gotten any statement from the party yet.
Attawa herself, has she spoken yet?
Attawa has not spoken yet, but we wanted to speak to her first daughter, Hidaya, who stated that the letter, who punched a lot of holes, or the letter or the statement that was written by the NPP, and then stating that, you know, she has joined the protest because that's her mother, and then if the party fails to do that, she herself will abstain from voting for the NPP in the December polls.
Thank you, Rafiq Salam, joining us from WA. Let's do other stories now. Movement for Change running mate Kwame Danso is urging voters to focus on key issues rather than party affiliations in the 2024 election. Speaking to supporters in Junkwa Central Region as part of his campaign tour of the region, he pledged monthly allowances of 200 cedis for the elderly if elected.
Very simple. And one is wako leader name. No catch behes kakra na media biajuma. Leader no bet you details in amount kakra. Now they are showing you say, is who be anyone. Yama Menomusua already 60 years and above. No, the good news is Urana Chamatisha Bar, obey any mommy no mahomo. Yama Menom near Papanum. Obey special health insurance. Ama yama menom near Papanum already 60 years and above. Anna yama menom near Papanum Sua already 60 years and above. No, every month piano you be making sure say you 200 Ghana cedis for every family. Wait, I do bet me yes says it can from her. Now say you the $15 million. I got Ediane, take I'm a growth ready. So $50 million no wouldn't inquire a bit me I am na. Etiako about to no. Men party color. Jewu na jewa sitting them. Naturally will mahu. Naturally the Ghana I was say a year in the next 10-20 years. Not to abanoma alanche maintain. Na ora alanchemantin kwa na sisi a bebe eduno obetimi ayi Ghana afi kwaso mu na alanchemantin order number 13 enti wo de okwa na hwe baabi a na hwe so na hwe baabi a udu ha no ahwe ase ho a mameti ase ho a.
Now let's get on the phone lines and speak to Duke Sasu. He's aide to the running mate. Duke, where are you right now in terms of Mr. Dansu's team, and what is the message he's relaying to residents?
Thank you so much. My name again is Duke Sasu. I'm the spokesperson to the Movement for Change and the national youth leader for the Movement for Change. Yes, the running mate for Honorable Alanche Martin, Kwame Danso Esquire, is currently in the Central Region, which is the second region that he's visited since he commenced his campaign. He was first in the OT region, the region where his father has been buried, where he met his family and supporters in the region. Next is the Central Region, where his mother is from. So he's actually touching base with people that he has affinity with, essentially. And his message has essentially been on the potential opportunities for people in this country. And he's touched on two main stakeholders, young people and the aged as well. For young people, it is about Honorable Alanche Martin's 10-point agenda, where he is going to empower young people in this country, talking about job creation for the informal and within the informal and the formal sector as well. But also for the older generation, how do we create a welfare system that ensures a sustenance culture for them? And that is the conversation that we'll be having. That ultimately, if we can develop and build an enterprise economy, which is at the core of the message of Honorable Alanche Martin, then we should be able to evolve into a nation where we can provide expensive support for the aged in our society, for people aged about 60 years, so that pension should not become a resort or more of a situation where people think it is more of a doomsday conversation for people. So he has been touching base with people, going house to house, having an amazing time in the Central Region. The response has been massive. The conversations are quite exciting. And people are looking forward to a new conversation beyond the duopoly of the NPP and NDC, where there's a conversation of a non-partisan agenda that ensures that Ghana is first. It is not about your affiliation to the NPP or the NDC that gives you access to opportunities in this country. But essentially, it is about you being a Ghanaian and you having access to the cake of opportunities within this country as well.
He's promising 200 Ghana cedis for the elderly. How does he plan to fund this?
So essentially, the conversation has been on building an enterprise economy within our country, essentially. And that has been the core message of Honorable Alan Martin. And how this enterprise economy becomes a basis of establishing gross level of funding for different projects across the country. And his assessment, or the assessment of the team, is that once we are able to build an enterprise economy that boosts our economy and our finances, then being able to provide a welfare system that safeguards the elderly within our community and ensures that our elderly have a life that is much more fundamentally protected shouldn't be a problem at all. So the enterprise economy of Honorable Alan Martin is one that ensures that such welfare systems are surely available for the elderly as well. But the focus is on young people as well. And the different things of jobs that will be created for young people within Honorable Alan Martin's industrialization agenda is one that cannot be ignored.
And what's next on the radar?
Oh yeah, so Honorable Alan Martin currently is in the central region. He is currently touring over 350 communities in the central region between now to the 18th of this very month. So there's an intensive campaign, house to house, what we call the caravan call, where he's meeting people in the very privacy of their homes and sharing with them the message of national unity, the message of going beyond the duopoly, the message of having a policy conversation that transcends one's political ideal, and saying that Ghana must be the focus, Ghana first. And the Vice President is also in the central region, touching base with our brothers and sisters in the central region, visiting over 100 communities in the central region, and saying that everyone must come on board in pushing the duopoly aside and pushing the national agenda that ensures that Ghana surely is the focus and not a political party.
Thank you, Duke. Let's shift our attention now to the PNC, because flag bearer for the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, has called on the Chief Imam, Sheikh Usman Nur Sharabutu, to intervene in his disqualification from the 2024 elections, one he describes as a looming and impending national security threat. Speaking during a presentation and paying a courtesy call on the Chief Imam, he indicated that he plans to change the national languages from English to Twi and Hausa, a move he believes will help unite the country.
In coming here, we need to alert the Chief Imam to a looming danger. That whilst the PNC will not engage in anything violent, certain attitudes, particularly from the Electoral Commission, has every potential to plunge this nation into a calamity. Chief Imam would have been aware that in order for somebody to become the leader of a political party, at least you must transport yourself, your team, throughout 275 constituencies of this country, 16 regions of the country. Apart from the resources in terms of cash, it has to take the prayers and intervention of the Chief Imam and others to save us from disaster on our routes. When the political party chooses one as its leader, it's not an ordinary feat. The party asserted that we have met every constitutional requirement of Article 42, Article 62 of the 1992 Constitution. Then it takes the Electoral Commission, just by word of mouth, to say that you are disqualified from the contest. Such violence on the PNC can translate into violence of our nation. We have heeded to the call of the Chief Imam not to disturb the peace of our nation. The Chief Imam must also inform these institutions to act in a manner that will ensure that we all together preserve the peace. We insist that when we win the elections in 2024, we will use Twi and Hausa as our prime languages, and English, French, and others will be optional languages. That is the only way our people will appreciate and understand. In effect, the people that carry the economy of Ghana, they speak Twi, Hausa, and our indigenous languages.
Well, it's a good time to bring in the national chairman of the PNC, Samson Asaki-Awingobed. Thank you for your time here on Election Brief. You are currently in court contesting the disqualification of your flag bearer. Why then resort to begging the chief imam to come to your aid?
Well, thank you very much, and let me say a very big good afternoon to you and to your cherished viewers all over the country. Of course, the national chief imam, and let me say a very big thank you to the office of the national chief imam, especially for opening their doors for us yesterday. My leader, myself, and the rest of the national executive to pay a courtesy call to our grandfather, our father, and father of the nation. We know the chief imam is the most peaceful person and the most highly respected in the country. And for that matter, the PNC should go to appeal to him to think that when he speaks, his voice goes far. And this is not about begging. It is our father who went for blessings, and we used the opportunity to inform him about our predicament when we filed on the 13th of last month for the presidential candidate of my political party to contest. And at the end of the day, on the 20th of that last month, the EC announced that based on errors and several omissions, that several errors and
We seem to be losing connection to Samson Awingobed. Thankfully, he's back with us. Please make your point.
Yes, because of that, we were unable to accept us to be part of the ballot. And so we think that the chief imam is one of the topmost persons in this country. And so far as he always preaches pieces, we needed to look at him and inform him what happened to our party.
You also paid a visit to the EC Church in Mensa. During the IPAC meeting, you had some strong words for the EC. Why then resort to courtesy call visits and whatnot at this time?
It is important that you remember on the IPAC meeting day, before the IT manager of the EC, the Electoral Commission, came to make a presentation, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission gave us an opening remarks and admitted before the over 34 million Ghanaians that it is true the Electoral Commission is manned by human beings, and humans, as it is a human institution, they are bound to make mistakes. And that when their attentions are drawn, they are working to correct. So what are the attention? The attention was the issues that the NDC raised that brought us to the IPAC meeting, and it was open. It was not get enclosed to only few party executive or party officials. And so, as the national chairman who appeared or who took part in that meeting, I had my bite there, and I said, "Well, you accept, we will forgive. That it's true. It is human beings that make errors. It's human beings that make mistakes. And when they admitted with genuineness, it is important, it is incumbent on us to forgive you." Same thing occurred to us in my party, the PNC. It's also manned by human beings. As you are speaking to me, you're not speaking to a machine, you're talking to a human being. And so we are also manned by human beings. We are also bound to make mistakes, to make errors. And so if we are forgiving you, it is my humble appeal that they should reconsider our application and admit us to the 2024 general election.
But isn't this a public admission? Isn't this a public admission that indeed there were errors, and so the EC was right to have disqualified the party?
Well, I didn't see the errors. The EC did not point to me, this is the error A or error B or error C, as at the day I spoke at the IPAC. And when we also paid a courtesy call the following day, with my, as you can see, National Women Organizer standing by me, my General Secretary standing by with us, and then the Commissioner of the the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her Deputy, Mr. Samuel Tete. We had a very good discussions. The issue that they raised there was the same thing that they raised on the 20th. He said there were signatories that they can see that it looks similar. It says that we use some district supporters or supported those who endorse our form to another different district. These are human
We seem to be losing connection
Look at
to
the
something.
voluminous of the document commits of my created, and can hear you loud and clear. And so we are human beings. As they admitted that they are human beings. We also admitted that we are human beings. And that was the reason why we went to tell them, please, listen, talk to have a meeting, meet your country, and then communicate back to us. Even though, yes, it is public record that we have gone to court. And I've made it clear to her. I said, yes, we have gone to court. What do we go to court to ask? We are saying that you cannot use only errors and omissions to disqualify us. It's not grounded in law because, one, we are not saying that a president candidate could not make the valid task prove that it's a Ghanaian or is eligible voter and is 40 years of sound-minded. It is not that. It isn't that my party president candidate could not raise the money to pay for the filing fee. These are legal, or my president candidate had any criminal cases prepared against him, or he was imprisoned by any court of competent jurisdiction. No, my candidate is as pure as clear. In fact, we even went ahead to get the CID to prepare a report, okay, about my presidential candidate and my vice president candidate. And the report has been sent. They didn't send to PNC. They sent it straight to the back, to the EC. And I'm quite clear, if there were anything of that sort, on that 20th day, the EC commissioner would have made it public because it is a confidential to the EC. But I can speak with you, and then we struggle about error. It's about omissions. We are human beings, and I think that we have a valid case, and we are calling them that they should rethink in their decision. They should look at it, and if you have gone to the national chief imam, I don't think it's a misplaced priority. It is the right call that we have made, and I think I listened to my leader West very carefully. He's saying that the national chief imam, of course, 2020 elections, all protesters are preaching peace, isn't it? The peace council is calling for peace. The national chief imam office is huge. He has followers, not only within Ghana, but even outside Ghana. And so you can imagine, this is it is not a small person, this is a heavyweight person. And so if the PNC have called on him, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to beg, but we're going to tell him what it is, and we think that he should add his voice. Not only the national chief imam, indeed, even the President Akufo-Addo should be able to add his word. President Mahama should be able to add his word.
So you go and pay them a courtesy visit? Is that the case? Will you go and pay them a courtesy visit?
We don't need to pay a courtesy call to them for them to know. We are called on all minded Ghanaians that the way and manner at which the EC treat us, and now the EC has admitted by itself that they are human beings. We are also human beings.
As we wrap up the conversation, I have to bring this in. What's the update on your court case? 1 minute.
Well, on coming Monday will be our first date.
Unfortunately, we lost connection to Samson Asaki, a wing of it. He is national chairman of the People's National Convention. On Monday, they head to court. They're contesting their disqualification from the elections. My name is Faustina Safa, and that's how we wrap up Election Brief. Have a wonderful weekend as you enjoy the rest of our programs.